Okay, let's unpack this a bit. You know that feeling, right? You're absolutely nailing your individual work.
Hitting all the targets.
Yeah, projects on time, maybe even early. Your performance reviews are, like, stellar.
Yeah.
Then the big news drops. You're being asked to lead a team.
Feels like the next logical step. Recognition.
Exactly, a natural step forward. But then, almost overnight, your whole focus shifts. It's not just about your personal to-do list anymore. Suddenly, you find yourself responsible for this entire group. Their work, their motivation, maybe even, their career development.
And that leap from being the master of your own tasks to guiding others, well, it can be a surprisingly bumpy ride for a lot of people.
It really can.
What's really interesting to think about is just how big a change this actually is. It's more than just adding new tasks to your plate.
Definitely more.
It's a fundamental shift in how you even see your role, how you define success. You're moving from being that individual contributor
to someone whose main job is enabling the success of other people.
Precisely. And as the research we looked at highlights, that demands a totally different skill set, a fresh perspective on, well, what leadership actually means.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We want to explore this really pivotal transition.
Yeah.
We're drawing on research that shines a light on the common pitfalls new managers face, and also the crucial strategies for building up that people-first leadership style.
So what sources are we looking at?
We've got studies from the Center for Creative Leadership. They have some really striking stats on them.
Oh yeah, those numbers are something.
And also some in-depth research from the University of Pretoria, looking at the different factors that influence how this transition goes. Plus, insights from Health 360 Degrees. They specialize in leadership transitions, focusing on that move from task to people management.
And thinking bigger picture, that University of Pretoria research really underscores something important. This first move into management, it's not just about right now.
Good point.
How well you navigate this initial step, it significantly shapes your future leadership abilities, your performance down the line. If that foundation isn't solid, if it's not supported, it can create ongoing problems for you and your team.
Exactly. Lasting challenges.
Okay, so our mission today is pretty clear then. We want to give you, the listener, a clearer grasp of the difficulties involved here and also equip you with practical, evidence-based ways to become a really effective people-focused leader.
Sounds good. Where should we start? The reality check.
Let's start right there. The reality of this shift. Those Center for Creative Leadership findings, they really paint a stark picture, don't they?
They really do.
They found that a full 20% of first-time managers are actually seen as, well, poor performers by their own teams.
20%. That's 1 in 5.
Yeah. And this number really jumped out at me. 26% felt completely unprepared for the role.
Unprepared. Wow.
And nearly 60%, that's, the vast majority got absolute no formal training when they stepped into that first leadership job. 0. Those figures are pretty compelling, aren't they? They really highlight a major gap, the lack of support people get when making this huge career move.
Huge move, yeah.
The Center for Creative Leadership's work, looking at hundreds of these emerging leaders, it just emphasizes how common these feelings are. Feeling like you're thrown in the deep end.
Without a life jacket.
Pretty much. It's clearly not just a few isolated cases.
No, absolutely not. And like Kathy at a 360 Degree points out, this isn't just about learning a few new technical things.
Right.
It's about that fundamental change in focus we mentioned earlier, moving away from the buzz of your own accomplishment.
That to the, let's say, more complex, more nuanced work of actually building up a team, developing people, influencing the culture around you.
So that brings up the big question.
Yeah.
What are the most common stumbling blocks? What trips new managers up?
Well, the research from both the Center for Creative Leadership and the University of Pretoria gives us some good pointers there. One big one, leading former peers.
Ah, yes. The dynamic shift.
Exactly. Suddenly, the people you were, working alongside, maybe even friends with, now you're their boss.
It's got to be awkward sometimes.
It can be incredibly tricky. You need to maintain those positive relationships, hopefully, but also establish your authority, earn respect in a new way. It's a delicate balance.
Requires different skills too, right? Like influencing people who don't even report to you sometimes.
Absolutely. Managing those relationships is key.
Okay. What else? Accountability often comes up.
Yes, the Center for Creative Leadership definitely flags that. Many new managers find it really uncomfortable giving feedback, especially negative or constructive feedback.
Yeah, nobody likes doing that.
True, but it's crucial. And now, with so many remote or hybrid teams figuring out how to hold people accountable effectively when you're not physically there, That adds another whole layer of complexity.
Makes sense.
Then there's delegation, another big hurdle identified by the Center for Creative Leadership.
Letting go.
Exactly. Learning when to step back, trusting your team to take ownership, even if you think, oh, I could do that faster, or I'd do it differently.
Resisting the urge to jump in, or worse, micromanage.
Right. Resisting that urge to constantly check up on them, that's a skill. It takes conscious effort to develop that trust.
And it's not just about handing off the easy stuff, is it?
No, and the Center for Creative Leadership also points this out. It's this new, sometimes demanding responsibility of actively coaching and developing your people.
Helping them grow.
Yeah. For many who were star individual performers, focusing proactively on someone else's growth, their career path, that can feel like completely uncharted territory.
That connects to the mindset shift the University of Pretoria research talks about, right?
It does, yeah. They found that sometimes people get promoted because they're great technical experts, but they maybe never actually wanted to be managers.
Oh, interesting. So they're kind of reluctant leaders.
Sort of. For
Yeah.
them, the struggle to go from being the person with all the answers, the specialist,
To someone who empowers others to find their own answers. That can be a really profound, maybe even unwelcome change. I can see that. And that same research also mentioned the impact of just not getting enough support, right?
absolutely, a lack of guidance. Things like not getting a proper handover from the previous manager.
Or your own boss not giving you much support, maybe micromanaging you.
Exactly. Or just a lack of clear processes, clear expectations. All that can leave new managers feeling really isolated and, frankly, set up to struggle.
Okay, so we've outlined some pretty significant challenges here. Given all that, what can new managers actually do? What are some practical strategies to build that people-focused style?
Well, the good news is our sources, especially 360 Degrees and the University of Pretoria work, offer some really valuable, actionable advice.
Let's hear it. What's first?
One key strategy from 360 Degrees is about effective delegation, but maybe with a twist. It's not just about assigning tasks to get them off your plate. It's about entrusting people with responsibilities that will genuinely stretch them, give them chances to learn and grow.
So delegating for development, not just delivery.
Exactly. That builds skills, but it also builds trust and that sense of ownership within the team. It shows you believe in them.
Nice. What else?
Building on that, Gray 360 Degrees also really emphasizes focusing intentionally on team values and individual development.
How does that look in practice?
Well, maybe defining core team values together, like transparency, partnership, flexibility, whatever fits your team. That creates a shared foundation.
Gets everyone on the same page.
Right. And they also suggest making personal development a regular thing, not just a once-a-year review, maybe quarterly chats focused on strengths, feedback, finding training opportunities, making it part of the routine.
I like that, making development ongoing. I also like the advice from Create 360 Degrees about leading with questions.
Ah, yes, the coaching approach.
Yeah. Instead of always being the one with the answer, just asking, okay, how would you approach this?
Powerful, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It pushes your team to think critically, builds their autonomy, shows you value their input, helps them develop problem-solving skills.
Definitely. And related to that is the whole idea of building positive emotional engagement.
Meaning?
Recognizing your employees as, whole people. Individuals with unique perspectives, lives outside of work, not just job titles or roles to fill.
Seeing the person behind the role.
Exactly. As Pranamaya 360 Degree points out, that kind of recognition, that connection, it really boosts loyalty, motivation, team commitment. It makes a huge difference.
So we've covered some really crucial strategies there, it feels like, to wrap things up. Moving from being great at your own job to leading others effectively.
Yeah.
It's a massive transformation.
It truly is. Requires that conscious shift in mindset we talked about, and definitely a commitment to learning new skills.
And we've seen the hurdles navigating those peer relationships, taking on accountability, learning to trust and delegate in a way that empowers people.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
But by focusing on things like delegating effectively for growth, really prioritizing individual development, leading with questions, and building those strong positive relationships.
New managers absolutely can navigate this successfully. They can thrive.
Definitely.
And maybe that leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Go for it.
Think about the ripple effect. When you invest in yourself, in developing as a truly people-focused leader, how does that impact more than just your team's immediate success?
Wider impact.
Yeah. How might it shape the broader company culture? How could it influence the next generation of leaders coming up behind you? It's an investment with potentially really far-reaching benefits.
That's a great point to end on, a powerful thought. And if you are keen to explore more insights, more practical tools for managing this transition from task focus to people leadership,
Where should they go?
we highly recommend checking out the resources available at 360 Degrees. They really have a wealth of information to support you on this important journey.